Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. So today we're going to be doing a special reading. This is going to be a message from Kali Ma. I don't have a particular question in mind for this reading. I did a similar reading like this recently. My most recent video was a message from an archangel, either Michael, Raphael or Gabriel, and that went down really well. A lot of you really liked that, and I do like doing these sorts of readings where there's no specific question, because I think then it just allows Spirit to send the messages through that we need to hear. So today we're going to be getting a message from Kali Ma. As I said, I recently got the Kali Oracle as a gift from my boyfriend for my birthday, and I've been getting used to using it and learning a lot, and I really like it, so I would love to share this with you today. So we've got the Kali Oracle cards on the pile markers, but I will also be pulling an additional card. Maybe more will come out from that deck in each reading as well, because I don't want it just to be the pile marker cards. I haven't chosen them, that's just the cards that have jumped out for each deck, for each pile when I've been shuffling to get a card for each pile, so that's there to draw you in. So we'll take a look at them in a moment, but before I do, I want to say a big thank you as always to all of my lovely subscribers and to all of my lovely patrons as well, including Alexandra, Kelly, Joan, Cara, Nicole and Mia. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for all of your support and kindness. So let's take a look at the piles more closely. So on pile 1 we've got the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, and we have card number 36, Artha of Kali. And because there's no particular question that I've set for today's reading, you're just to ask yourself, what does Kali Ma want me to know? What messages would Kali Ma like me to receive? What does she want to tell me? Etc. Over on pile 2, we've got the Circle of Life Tarot and number 37, Dharma of Kali. Really love the artwork on this deck. And on pile 3, we've got Tarot in Wonderland and number 24, Matangi. And colours are just so vibrant. So you can take as much time as you need, and you can choose more than one pile if you do feel drawn to more than one pile, but ultimately this is about choosing with your intuition. It's not about the card that you like the look of the most or the deck that you prefer to have a reading with. It's where you're feeling drawn intuitively, the card that you can't take your eyes off, for example, or the deck that sort of makes you feel tingly when you look at it. That will give you your most accurate reading, and at the end of the day that's what we're here to do. So don't overthink it, choose with your intuition, and when you guys are ready I will be waiting with pile number 1. Hey there group 1, welcome to your reading. So if you chose the Artha of Kali, number 36, and the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, this is going to be your reading. We'll see what messages come through to you from Kali. Should we start with this card? Yeah, maybe let's start with reading the guidebook introduction for this card. I always like to read out the guidebook introductions for any Alana Fairchild deck. I think they're so beautifully and eloquently channeled. So Artha of Kali says, her heart contains the seeds of your soul and complete awareness of the divine destiny she has always intended for you. There is a sacred purpose for which you were born and a meaningful, divinely protected pathway for you to fulfill it. Only you can decide to put your faith and commitment into that path and to take one step at a time in honoring what has value to your heart, turning it into her loving plan. In taking those steps, the pathway will reveal itself, and you shall attract great blessings that will benefit all beings. So this is connected to your life path, and because Kali is the goddess of endings and beginnings and sort of death and rebirth and change, I'm expecting a lot of people who are drawn to watch this video in general, not any particular pile, but just the video in general, to be going through some changes or feeling stagnant and wanting to shake up some things in their life. So this seems to be connected to your life path and your destiny, your mission in life, maybe your career as well, your purpose. So let's get some tarot cards. I would love it if you could subscribe as well. If you haven't already, group 1, that means that you'll get notified whenever I release a new video, so you never miss out, and it also really helps out my channel as well. Okay, so we have got the Four of Wands from your tarot cards. We've got the Sun, lovely cards. And then we've got the Queen of Wands very fiery energy cards, and the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so I definitely see how it's connected to your mission or your career. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius showing up here, so that may be relevant to you, or it may be, for example, where your midheaven is, but potentially in your birth chart, the 10th house. Yeah, I can see that you're putting in a lot of work, but there's almost like a sense of it's not moving forward. Like, I'm putting in this work, but maybe nothing's happening, or I want to have more success, or I want the work to be more fulfilling or sort of more interesting in a sense. And with this Queen of Wands message, I do see your ability to bring that about. It's intricately connected with these two cards, with your confidence and your courage and your ability to sort of take risks and make changes and big decisions. Sometimes when we're afraid to make big decisions, that sort of subconsciously tells the universe that we don't really want change because we're afraid to make those choices and decisions. So why would we want change, you know? That's energetically what we're putting out there. So we've got number 7, Poe. You've got Poe and you've got the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. That's incredible. Wow. Time for change, to learn something new, to use technology and gadgets with wisdom. So literally what I was saying about change, but being afraid to take that leap. And it's crazy as well because it was, if you're watching this when I posted this, although this is a timeless reading, it was Edgar Allan Poe's birthday literally like a day or two ago. So that's crazy. I didn't quite realize that when I was putting out the Edgar Allan Poe cards, but then when I saw that, it came to me that that was when his birthday was. So that's incredible. Time for change, to learn something new. Wow. Might be looking to retrain or go into a different field, or maybe you're looking to launch a business or something, but it just feels as though you have these dreams or ideas, or you're kind of saying to yourself, I feel like I've gone as far as I can go in my current career, or it's all right, but I want to make a change and I want to experience some new things. But there's such a big part of yourself that's not prepared to do that. If you see what I mean, it's like, I want the change to sort of come to me. I don't want to take the steps myself in case it doesn't work out, or I land flat on my face, or it's difficult, or I regret it. Oh, sorry, God. So we have Galactic Mushroom, number 24, the Divine Matrix. Wow, that's all about manifestation. Everything's sort of working out in the right way. You might have been seeing signs and symbols since you started thinking about the changes that you want to make that seem to point towards that, or seem to bring up, for example, that career path, or that place that you want to move to, or that place where you want to study. It keeps bringing it up and you're like, I keep seeing this now that I've thought about it, and that's happening for a reason. Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine, number 6. So you have this Divine Feminine energy that's sort of protecting you, surrounding you and protecting you. If you think of like the womb as being this sort of sacred space that's held for you to grow in and held for you to expand and develop, but there comes a time as well when we need to leave that. We can't stay in the womb forever, you know. We get our assigned period of time, around 9 months, and then that's it. We've got to leave and be independent and make our own choices. And it's kind of like that. It's like, I like feeling obviously protected and happy and safe in this environment. I like what is familiar to me, but I feel like I've reached about the end of where I can grow here. But it's also terrifying to think of going out into the world and making those changes, or being an autonomous person. Oh my goodness, shedding the old. Number 38, there is a change coming your way. Cultivate a sense of adventure so you will be able to see these new prospects. And that is literally this. Like, it's getting excited for it, and not, instead of being afraid of the idea of change, getting ready and excited for it and actively wanting to move towards it yourself. Okay, we've also got number 40, rediscover your zeal. Pay attention to the passion you are feeling for discovery, learning, exploration, spirituality, travel, your work, or your relationship. Passion and desire go together, especially as inspiration. So when you're allowing yourself to get excited about it, that brings in all of this energy that you really, really need. Number 33, I want to be a queen. Stating your sovereignty, declaring freedom, passing a test. Absolutely, like I was saying about wanting to be autonomous, but having a fear of that as well. And this one says no need to fear. Number 18, remember how powerful you are. Crazy. I love these messages that you're getting, group 1. I feel like this is just what you need to hear. I love how they're all so interconnected. We have the Happily Ever After Witch, number 13, and also the West Witch, number 26. I'll just get the guidebook out to read exactly what they mean for you, but I just love this. My cards in general kind of don't hold back. My cards can be a bit blunt sometimes, or a little bit cutting in how they come across, but with added to the energy of Kali coming through, it's like really to the point. Like there's no beating about the bush here or pretending. It's just, this is what you need to hear, this is what you need to be told, etc. So the Happily Ever After Witch predicts a lucky time, promising a happily ever after for you. Your attainable plans certainly receive support. You make wonderful progress, and many happy celebrations result from your surprisingly magical esteem. Heaven-sent new people, new places, and unique opportunities now appear like never before. You have very special choices to make that will never again come your way. Incredible. And the West Witch, number 26, says the West Witch predicts a gift for you, along with divine intervention or a strange coincidence. The sun finally sets on a sinking situation that can neither be gazed upon nor held for long. Autumn and sunsets may be a significant time for ending negative influences and beginning good ways. In the eerie darkness of night, the West Witch spirits murmur their ethereal presence. Strengthened by rest, you are illuminated by real changes of heart and mind which defeat the illusion of delusion. So it's literally this change and this new beginning. This opportunity that you now have to sort of change your life and become self-determined. Gates of triumph, success expands in your life. Love that card. Certainly fits well with the Happily Ever After Witch. So then here we've got number 99, Wegbereiter, path readier. Someone who gets the path ready for you, makes the way for you, sort of shines the light in the direction that you need to go. Very symbolic of the image of this card, actually. The gates flung open and the paths laid out there for you. And then we have number 25, Mangel, lack. So it's this fear of that lack, this fear of not having the good result at the end, this fear of, you know, I'm not good enough, or I'm not strong enough, or what if it doesn't work out? What if, you know, I don't have the drive to get going, etc. But Kali Ma is saying, here is the path that I'm opening up for you. I'm showing you the way. All you need to do is step forward and sort of meet me halfway by taking those brave decisions and making those brave changes. We've got Mushina showing up here, man. So this is a new deck that I got just the other day. It's from my mother for my birthday, but because we ordered it from Russia, it was delayed arriving, and so I've only got it now. This is the, what's it called? Предсказательный оракул, знаки, судбы. So it's the predictive oracle of the signs of fate. So we've got Mushina, man, and this could mean a number of things. Obviously, it could mean that there is a man who's going to be instrumental in helping you. And to be honest, you did choose Artha of Kali, who is a masculine figure in this deck, and is probably one of the only masculine figures actually in the book, in the whole deck, maybe even the only one, I'm not sure, I can't quite remember all of them, but I was struck by that when it came out as the first pile marker card. I wondered if that would be connected to your reading. You've got the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot and the word Poe, and now you've got Mushina, so there could be something here about channeling your inner masculine. This is a big project of mine. I'm currently working on a homemade deck to do with healing and channeling and empowering the inner masculine, not just for men but for women as well. It's something that I feel is often overlooked in the spiritual community. I feel like the divine masculine is only ever mentioned when we are seeking that outside of ourselves, and not when we are seeking to empower that or heal that or expand upon those traits within ourselves. So it's something that is a bit of a bone of contention for me, and you've probably heard me rant about it previously in videos if you're a returning viewer. But this is something that I'll hopefully be bringing forward in my readings a little bit in the future once I've got that deck sorted. So it's all about the masculine traits and the assertiveness and the confidence and the pushing forward like that, because Kali is probably one of the most assertive aspects of the feminine that you'll ever see. And so she really embodies that very well. So as I said, it could be a man who is helpful to you, who is able to give you some advice or able to push you in the right direction or sort of be there to support you through this change. Or it's about embodying those masculine traits within yourself, healing and strengthening your inner masculine. Full moon in Pisces, forgive. Maybe forgive yourself for the lack of confidence or the lack of faith within yourself. Forgive yourself for past mistakes or failures that might now be holding you back because you're thinking, oh, I don't want to make the same mistake again, or I don't want to do again now what I did then. Okay, so returning now to the Kali Oracle, we have number 38, Karma of Kali, and number 6, Trauma Nagmo. So if we just go to the guidebook again to read the introductions. So Karma of Kali, number 38, we'll read that one first. She is completely and utterly in love with your divine essence, and in her love bestows endless gifts. Your path need not be one of endless effort. Connecting with pleasure as a path of personal empowerment with an intention to bring spiritual benefit to the collective through softening and opening your heart is an act of worshipping the divine feminine. Relax into the presence of what is as you slow your pace and make swifter progress. Karma is a Sanskrit word that refers to the sweet stuff of life, pleasure, emotional fulfillment, and being completely present so we can experience life through all the senses. So it is also sensuality and physical vibrancy, it says, and without that quality of karma, our experience of life is very bleak and dry and sometimes dark, I imagine. It feels like the sort of negative aspect of the Eight of Pentacles, where we're just working so hard and we never have time to relax or have time to notice anything else going around us. Look at how Poe here is so focused on his work. He's really completely looking down. He's not seeing anything else that's going on. So that can be excellent in the sense of devotion to your work and your path, but it can also be negative in the sense of this is all I'm doing and I don't have a work-life balance. Okay, and then Trauma Nagmo. This card says, she arises instinctively, responding to a severe threat to your well-being, freedom and sacred fulfillment. Her fierce form causes the impure to tremble and the pure of heart to move close. She is ferocious in her wrath against injustice. Dispense with thoughts of vengeance. Pray for mercy for all beings, especially those trapped in patterns of consciousness harmful toward themselves and others. Open your heart to her heart and allow her to attend to all matters of karma while you remain true to your higher self. So this very ferocious form of Kali is there to sort of frighten away anyone or anything that would do you harm or who isn't working in accordance with your highest good, essentially. It's not there to make you frightened or fearful of her. It's there to ensure that nothing gets through to you which can hold you back or which can drain you or take away your joy. So we'll move on now to your charms and dice, group 1, for your extra messages. really think you've got some incredible messages today, and I really love all of the different colours and images that have come through in your reading. Also like how this was talking about forgiving people who have maybe held you back or hurt you in the past, and when we've got this forgive card as well. So what I'm seeing here is we've got the worry thread, so we've got some anxiety, as I've mentioned. You know, it just really feels like you've got ideas or you've got desires, but you just are struggling to take that leap because of that lack of confidence. The lobster claw here is literally saying you're afraid to let go. You're holding on tightly to something because it's what's familiar to you, and it's frightening to let go, but you have this lovely big key here which tells you that there is this new beginning, this new door that you can unlock, this new experience for you. And the key to me, it's not just about opening doors and new beginnings, it also to me is about unblocking situations or energies that have felt quite stagnant. So that all fits nicely with your reading. We've also got the pirate ship, which is about travel and adventure. That definitely fits for those of you who are looking to relocate or retrain or you know, have a completely different experience of your work or your life mission. We have live, love, laugh, enjoying the little things in life, the small things, work-life balance, just like what I was talking about with the Eight of Pentacles card. We've got the star, being guided, you're on the right path, your intuition is correct. It's also a message of having faith in yourself and having optimism for your future. I love football, doing the things that you enjoy, following your hobbies and passions and interests. Maybe some of you are kind of stuck in careers right now that just don't feel fulfilling, even if you're good at it. You know, it's just not exciting for you. We've got the helpful person there with the dolphin's charm, so that could be going back to this man, this mushina, someone who helps you out, or it could be Kali Ma herself, even in this very ferocious form. We have the giraffe, which is telling you to see the bigger picture. Is this what you want your life to be like in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, etc.? Where do you want to be even in just 1 year? There's kind of a message coming through for this reading, which is that if you want something different, you'll have to make changes, because if you keep doing what you've always been doing, you'll just get more of what you've already got. So to get a different result or a different outcome, you need to make some changes. We have the cartouche, which is a really powerful charm. It's quite a rare charm to receive. This means that your life is very intricately connected to divine intervention and to divinity more generally. It means that in this lifetime and the next one that you live, there's going to be a lot of divine intervention and sort of overseeing and divinity getting involved in your day-to-day life. And finally, we have the summer charm showing up here. So summer could be when you finally take the leap. Obviously it's a timeless reading, so you might be watching this in summer, but summer could be either when you got the idea and you started making plans, or when you're going to be ready to finally make that change for yourself. So we'll finish up now with your dice to get your final messages, group 1. So we're going to roll the 8th set of dice for you. Those are the Adventure Time dice. They're relatively new. I've only had them, I don't think even a month, maybe just a couple of weeks. And we're going to roll 3 of these dice for you, group 1. Okay, interesting. So we've got the sort of sleeping or thinking person. He's got his eyes closed, so maybe he's sleeping or maybe he's just sort of daydreaming. And this really fits with what I felt about you feeling potentially unfulfilled in your workplace or in what you're doing in your day-to-day life, and dreaming of something better, sort of dreaming of something different. And that fits with the Pisces vibe here. You know, it's like you're sort of in the workspace and your mind is drifting elsewhere and thinking, wouldn't it be great if I could do this, or if this was my day job, or if I lived in this place, you know, at least after work I'd be able to go to the beach maybe, or I'd be able to have access to these sorts of amenities. Maybe that's sort of on your mind. We do have Marceline here as well, Marceline the Vampire Queen from Adventure Time. And one of the key elements to Marceline is, I think, firstly her talent. She's extremely talented when it comes to music, so there's that creative side to her, that passion, but she's also someone who's very misunderstood, and she feels very lonely, and she feels like she's almost a wanderer. She never fits in, she never has somewhere that she would call home, or like people that she would call family or a friendship group, until she finds Finn, really, and sorry, the main character of Adventure Time, for those of you who've never seen it. She's someone who has a lot of issues from her past to do with abandonment and to do with feeling misunderstood and feeling like her needs weren't thought of, and, you know, sort of her identity was pushed to the side. So that could be the case for you, or it could just be that you feel as though you've got a lot to share but it's not being expressed, or people aren't really appreciating what you have to offer. So take that how it resonates with you, but that's what I get from the Marceline dice. And then here we've got the two friends sort of jiving and grooving together, and looks like they maybe are about to high five as well. And to me that just fits with like following your own rhythm, and doing what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel good, not sort of going to anyone else's tune, just dancing to your own tune, and maybe also having more supportive people around you. And that could go back to this helpful person, this man, or Kali Ma in general, just wanting to help things become a lot smoother for you. Maybe it's not necessarily the workplace itself, but the people you work with that you don't get along well with, and you think that moving to a different location might help with that, or changing the role slightly might help with that. Whatever it is, it's like you're looking for just a more convivial environment, and that's what I see in your reading, and Kali Ma is definitely encouraging you to do that. So I hope this has been helpful, Group 1. I hope you feel more validated and encouraged and empowered to make the decisions that are right for you as a result of seeing this reading today. Please do take Kali Ma's messages on board with you as you start to think about your future. Thank you so much for being here. Please let me know in the comments how this resonated with you, and please do like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed this video. Thank you, Kali Ma. Thank you to your spiritual team and mine for helping us to get these messages to you today. You might want to leave a little comment of thanks even just to Kali Ma or to your spiritual team for helping you receive these messages today. Have a lovely rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, and if you are interested at all in the work that I do on the channel, check out my description box or the comment that I post below. Down there you can access things like my Instagram for daily oracle cards that I post. You can access my wish lists. I have 2 wish lists down there if you'd like to send a new deck to the channel. I also have a PayPal link down below for tips and donations, which help me in the work that I do. They support me to keep making these videos. I've got my Patreon link down below if you'd like to join me over there. I would love to see you over there, and that's where you can get access to exclusive content like extra picker cards, giveaways, healing sessions, etc. All sort of things that I do on an ad hoc basis to give back to the people that support my channel. There's also my Etsy page linked below if you'd like to book a private reading or a healing session with me, or get information about your guardian angel. I have a few different services that I offer over there. And we do currently have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations. There is a link down below. All of these links are down below. And if you click on that link, it will validate the discount code. You then apply the discount code at checkout. That discount code is Violet, and that will mean that you get 10% off your first order, and there's free international shipping, and it's just the most beautiful handmade crystal jewelry that's infused with intentions to help you achieve what you need in life and to sort of carry the right sort of vibes around with you. I really recommend their products, and it's very kind of them to offer us this 10% discount, so thank you Modern Day Manifestations for that. Thank you again for being here, and take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Hi there, Group 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose number 37, Dharma of Kali, and the Circle of Life Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So what we're going to do first is we're going to read the guidebook introduction to this card, and then we will do your tarot and your oracle cards. We'll also go back to the Kali Oracle as well to pull another card, and then we'll do your charms and dice like always. So let's just see what this particular card has to say first of all. So, Dharma of Kali. Her every action is infused with loving purpose. Every challenge and every opportunity in your life exists by her divine design. Her spiritual intelligence is within your heart. When you trust in your integrity and proceed according to your soul's values, you are trusting and empowering her to be at cause in your life. Everything that is happening is part of how your prayers are being answered. A new order is to be established. You are being led into it. Now, I did feel that just by virtue of the fact that this is Kali messages, that people drawn to this video would be either going through some changes or feeling like they want some change to happen in their lives, like things are a bit stagnant. So this feels like what's going on for you right now is changes are happening either within or outside of yourself that may feel a little bit disorientating or a little bit confusing, but those changes are happening because this is Spirit's way of answering your prayers, and Kali is guiding you to live more in accordance with your authentic self and your higher purpose. So let's get some tarot cards for you. I would love it, group 2, if you could subscribe if you haven't already, because that really helps out my channel and it means that you get notified whenever I release a video so you never miss out. See what we have here. So we've got the 6 of Swords, so definitely that sense of a shift or transition. We've got the Hierophant, the World, wow, and the 3 of Swords. Okay, so this could be really quite difficult emotionally or mentally. So we've got Taurus energy coming out here. We could get more as we go through the reading, but Taurus is sort of showing up first and foremost. And it does feel like there are some changes going on in the sense of like a definite shift in your life. You may see that relationships are falling away or changing in their dynamics. You may see that you personally are changing, because as I said, it's likely to be an internal transition or change as much as it is an external one, and that can be very unsettling because it feels like you're changing as a person and you start to wonder whether you're being your true self anymore. But the answer is yes. You might feel like, oh, I don't really like for example, wearing those sorts of clothes anymore, and I've always liked them, or I don't like doing this anymore, and that felt in the past like it was a key part of my personality or what I was known for. And so you might worry that you're becoming less of yourself, but actually you're becoming more of yourself in authenticity, because you're growing and evolving as a person, and you're sort of growing more into your true nature. You're peeling away the layers of what has been imposed upon you by your life experiences. I do get the feeling that you're feeling a loss of control in all of this. You're sort of like, oh my goodness, you know, I don't seem to have control over this. It's quite frightening. But I think in time you are going to see the reason behind all of this, and you're going to be grateful that it's happened. You've got number 14, Marie Masquerade, glamour, intrigue, drama. And number 42, ghosts of the past returns for a time. So this does kind of make sense with what I was saying about you kind of maybe being reluctant to give up on dressing a certain way, sort of doing certain things, or feeling like you like certain things. It's like when we go through change, especially when it feels like it's not consciously being initiated by us, although subconsciously it can be, we might try and cling on to things twice as hard to make sure that they don't let go, because we can feel them slipping away. So you might be trying to do things more often, even though you're not personally sort of feeling it. Do those things that you can feel slipping away from your interest, almost like to prove to yourself or to prove to the world that this is still you. But if you think about it, like a tree grows from a tiny little acorn or seed. Like, we would never look at a tree and think of it being like that little tiny seed, but it still is. It's that same thing. It's just grown into more of itself. And you know, when we see a tree in winter, it can look completely different from how it looks in the height of summer or in springtime when it's covered in blossom, and it doesn't make it any less of that tree or any less authentic. It's just a different side of it, a different aspect of that tree. So I think that's how you need to see yourself, group 2, because actually as we look at the card that you were drawn towards, Kali is kind of showing us contrast with this picture, not just in the colors but also in the traits, and of course the clothes. Like, I didn't even realize, but the clothes are different, and the hair is styled differently. You know, everything that is going on here is sort of contrast. So yeah, you might feel like you're changing as a person, or like you have to justify yourself or prove that you're still you underneath all of that. But try and see yourself as a tree. Like, your roots are grounded so deeply under the earth, and yet you can still wave your branches about in the sky, in heaven. You don't have to be just one thing. They're all parts of you. Perfect storm, the courage to step into life. Number 44, that's perfect. It's like the conditions being right for you to have this change now, to experience this. Okay, nothing more from that deck, so we'll move on. Replacing what was lost. Number 12, you now have the opportunity to rejuvenate and start anew. Create with a new perspective or outlook. This card may also indicate abundance is on the horizon. And this makes so much sense because the starfish, when it loses a limb, it can grow it back. And we've had the past returns for a time. It's like trying to hold on to those past experiences or those past interests to prove that you're still yourself. And you don't have to move away from them completely, but if you feel like you're being consciously sort of pulled away from them, or you can feel them just naturally slipping away, there's no need to fight to hold on to them. You can still look back at old photos of yourself and go, yeah, that was me, and that was what really resonated with me at the time, or the sort of look or interests or people that really chimed with me. But now I've grown and I've changed, and I look for different environments or different forms of self-expression as a result of that. I've sort of outgrown that way of life, or I've outgrown those relationships. Choices. Number 6, feeling blocked or restrained. Feeling stuck, feeling unsure as to what you should do. And often when you are going through this time of change that isn't consciously feeling like you're in control of it, or isn't consciously feeling like you're initiating it, you do feel very, very stuck. You feel like you're in this stagnant period while this change is going on all around you. Like, you can't exercise your will. You might try and make changes during this wider period of change, but ultimately that's not going to help. You know, it's like you trying to hold on to everything in your house while it's being battered by a storm and falling to pieces. You know, you're better off, instead of running around outside trying to hold all of the different trees up and stop that flower pot from being knocked over, you're better off just clinging to a rock and waiting for it all to finish, basically, waiting for it all to blow over, rather than fighting against the tide every time the lightning strikes or the wind blows or the rain comes lashing down. You have number 8, the Warty Witch. And you've also got number 26, the Ring Around the Moon Witch. So we'll take a look in the guidebook and see what those two are all about. But one of the biggest lessons Kali teaches us is definitely how to feel more comfortable with change. We don't ever have to particularly like the process of change, even if we're quite happy with the outcome and the fact that we're no longer in that situation. Change is scary, and our brains are programmed to dislike change because our brains are programmed to sort of scan a situation or environment for dangers. And Therefore, it feels comfortable and safe in an environment where it knows the dangers, even if it's always treading on eggshells. And the unknown, even if it turns out to be better, is always going to be seen as worse by the brain because it hasn't scanned it. It doesn't know what dangers are out there. So that's why people, it seems completely counterintuitive, but that's why people often stay in abusive relationships, or they stay in bad work environments or bad home environments, because they feel like this is the situation I know and it's better the devil I know, because their brains are kind of being their own worst enemy at that time. So we don't have to like the process of change ever. That might be something that never goes away. But the experience of change overall, and the ease of being able to let go, or being able to recognize when something is kind of symbolically dead in your life and isn't bringing you any benefit anymore, that's what Kali teaches us. So if we look to the Warty Witch, this card says, the Warty Witch reveals that someone you love will put their faith in you. The Warty Witch speaks to you in a vein of honesty, warts and all. Appreciating frankness and seeing both sides of a situation may change your heartfelt feelings. Those you had once thought ugly or unfairly despised will be seen in a different light. So it's interesting because there's a different light going on in this card, isn't there? Sort of contrasting situations. You might come out by the end of this, as I said before, not liking some of the things that you liked in the past, or even dressing in a way that your past self would have been horrified at, or doing things and liking things that you would have really rolled your eyes at a few years ago even. And that's what I mean about doubting whether it's your authentic self, but ultimately it's about growing into your true self more. And then the Ring Around the Moon Witch brings you a deeper wisdom. The witch's warning is to be careful in what you wish for. Like the ring around the moon, wishes without true sentiment evaporate. Make no mistake, truly heartfelt wishes do come true. So that's kind of also what Kali is telling you right now. If you try and hold on to everything, nothing's going to be saved. And it's basically asking yourself, what do I really want? Is there anything that I want to truly maintain from this situation? Is there anything that I still need to learn? Is there anything that's unresolved? What do I truly want from this change? Sometimes, for example, you can spend ages and ages wishing for something, wishing for a job or a relationship or that sort of perfect life, and when it starts coming towards you, it can be terrifying. Even though it's supposedly what you've always wanted, it can be so frightening to finally see that coming towards you because of that fear of change. So it's really being sure of what you want and really embracing that certainty. Okay, we have overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything, group 2. Lovely message. You're able to overcome difficulties, dangers, problems, challenges and setbacks, any snags along the way. You will overcome it, and that brings us back to this abundance is on the horizon message, new beginnings, new perspectives. Okay, so here we've got Projektion, number 32, projection, and number 8, etwas Besonderes sein wollen, wanting to be something special, but in the negative sense of like wanting to be better than others, or just wanting to be seen as special without actually having any particular talent or interest that backs that up. So projection, this card comes up when we are sort of overly concerned about how others perceive us, or we're overly worried about how others will assess our own actions and choices and decisions. So this could be where the feeling blocked comes in, if you feel like you have to always justify yourself to others, and so you're almost afraid to move, you're almost kind of afraid to make any choices because it's like, well, what's so-and-so going to say? What will they think if I choose to do this? What are they going to say if I move away from this way of being or this way of dressing myself and behaving, etc.? Are they going to think I'm a big fraud or a liar, or question if I'm going through some kind of breakdown? Like, what's going to go on? And this is just saying, move away from those fears, which are born of other people's opinions of you, or your, most importantly with projection, your perception of other people's opinions of you. So your belief as to what people think may not even be correct. In reality, it's just your perception of how others are seeing you. And then we've got this wanting to be something special. And I think that's just a message of be careful what you wish for, this ring around the moon witch. you have Kryuchnik from this new deck. This is a new deck that I got recently from my mother. I only got it a couple of days ago. It was for my birthday. It's the Предсказательный оракул. Знаки судбы is what it's called, and in Russian that means the like predictive oracle of the signs of fate. That's sort of what it means. And yeah, I only got it a couple of days ago, despite my birthday being over a week ago now, because it was held up, it was delayed in Russia, so we weren't able to receive it before then. So it's a word, sorry, going back to the card itself, Kryuchnik is a word that I would actually struggle to translate into English. It's kind of a historical word in Russian. It's a type of worker in the 19th century who would carry heavy loads with kryuk, which is where Kryuchnik comes from, and that is like a sort of a hook. And so it's like a historical thing basically, rather than something that is relevant to the present day. But I think it fits well with this wanting to be something special, because this was something that sort of arose quite suddenly, this type of role, and they were mainly the peasant workers, etc. So I think it goes back to like wanting to be different or stand out just for the sake of it. So that could go back to types of dressing, for example. You might worry that people are thinking you're just trying to be different and, you know, wanting to be original, when actually they just think like there's no substance behind it. Or you might feel like some of your interests just come across as quite edgy, but actually it's something that you're genuinely interested in, and you worry about being questioned or pulled up on it. So it could be something to do with that, because that's definitely what that card means in the guidebook. It's about your sort of drive and ambition and your desire to be the sort of first person, or the different person that's doing this new thing. So it's a bit of a tricky one to explain in you know, in like an English context, but I hope that has sort of explained what the Kryuchnik is historically. So let's keep going with your cards. There's a few more that I want to get out. I really like the sort of artwork on this deck. I like the Victorian style. So we have full moon in Scorpio, breathe through the tension. So just like this ability to overcome any obstacle, you know, it's just breathing and getting through the difficulties and the problems with other people, or the uncomfortableness as you move into a new expression of yourself. Let's go back to the Kali Oracle. Definitely a lot here about trying not to worry how other people perceive you. So here we've got number 39, Moksha of Kali. Beautiful card. And then we've got number 1, Smashana. Okay, so number 39 and number 1. So like again, this first person, or this different person, or this new beginning vibe. So let's take a look at these cards, the introductions in the guidebook. Haven't pulled either of them ever before, so I'm learning along with you. So Moksha of Kali, her passionate desire for your liberation is unflagging, and so your relief shall come swiftly. She is speaking to you from within. She is the voice of reassurance. Can you hear her? Trust her. Soon you will see things in a better light. You are going to be liberated from the struggle you're currently experiencing. Be true to yourself and your life path, and you will attract the way forward as obstacles disappear. Do not turn away, for you are destined to overcome all opposition, bringing your sacred path to fruition. And moksha is a Sanskrit term which means freedom or liberation, in the sense of spiritual liberation and self-actualization. So this takes us back to this feeling of being constrained and wanting to be different, and maybe changing how you look, for example, or changing the things that you're into, and just worrying about how that comes across, or worrying if that's even the real you. Worried about how people will question that. You know, maybe you've been very spiritual for a long time, but you haven't spoken about it publicly in your real life, and so you're worried about reaction from friends or family, or even work colleagues, if it comes out that you're this very spiritual person. And Kali is just there saying, I'm helping you to liberate yourself, and I'm by your side as you go through this. So then Smashana, number 1. She shines her blessings of divine deconstruction, clearing away that which undermines your confidence and inhibits your activity on your life path. With the courage born of unconditional trust, you can accept her fierce intervention in your life with openness to the positive changes that shall emerge as a result. Wow. Okay, so that's perfect. She's clearing away the debris and anything that would hold you back in this new experience of life and this new self-expression. So let's get your charms on top now, group 2. And then we'll move on to your dice as well. We'll get your extra messages. Okay, perfect. So we've got the Wheel of Fortune, a change in circumstances, a changing tide. You are moving in a different direction. It's like a compass charm. We've got the Ladybird, which is a good luck charm. We also have the Worry Thread, which was just sort of intertwined with the heart. So worry and anxiety surrounding your passions or interests or doing what you love. We've got Live, Love, Laugh, sort of simplifying your life and living simply and enjoying the small things. We have got Wintertime showing up, maybe as a time where you first experience these feelings or when you're ready to make those changes. Maybe that won't be until the winter. Obviously this is a timeless reading, so you could be watching this whenever. We've got the paw print here, which is about following in someone's footsteps, so following someone else's path to happiness or success. It could be about who or what you follow on social media as well, what sort of energy is flooding your timeline or your feed, or what you get bombarded with every day. We've got the Cactus here. This is about kind of shutting people out. It's being in survival mode basically, and obviously when we think of the cactus we think of how it's hard to touch them or get close to them. And they survive in the desert, they survive in this very difficult terrain, so it's both of those things. We've got the letter Q down here, which could be a word that comes to you or someone's name or a place. Q always makes me think of questioning, like when you're doubting yourself or when you're starting to ask really big questions about your life, but it could mean something completely different for you. We've got this little cat here. This won't have a meaning for everyone, but this little cat to me is a symbol of Africa. So it points towards Africa and connections to that. So it could be that you are maybe wanting to get more involved with African culture or African clothing, for example. You really like it, but you're worried that people will say that you're appropriating that, or that it's, you know, completely against how you used to dress or something. Maybe you're working with African deities, for example, and you don't know how people are going to react to that. Maybe you are from Africa and you want to embrace a culture that's quite different or at odds to you know, the one that you are living in or that you've been raised in, and so that can bring complications. It could even be that you're being inspired by someone who has an African name or surname or who has connections to Africa, because that's usually how those geography dice work, is it's either about the place or it's about someone who's from the place, has connections to the place, or has a name or surname that ties them to the place. Even if they're not ethnically of that background, they might be called an African name as their first name, or they might have an African surname. So moving on, we've got the bow, wanting to make things prettier or nicer or better. There does seem to be an awful lot about appearance here, like the way that you change how you come across, or the way that you change how you dress or act. There's a lot about that and how that would be perceived. We have the flamingo, finding your other half. Maybe that's part of your wish, and that's why it's saying be careful what you wish for. And the key, a new beginning, opening new doors, unblocking anything that has become stagnant in your life, new opportunities, new ideas. Let's get your dice as well for your final messages. Okay, we're rolling the first set of dice for you, the fantasy dice. These ones, we've got the wishing well there. Okay, there's that be careful what you wish for message coming through again. And we're rolling 5 of them for you. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we've got the labyrinth. And the labyrinth really represents sort of being lost, being confused, being unsure as to which way to turn, which way you're headed. You know, it's all like which way is up kind of feeling, and I'm not sure what to do next, which step to take next, what's the best decision for me, etc. It suggests real confusion and a shake-up of your life, which I definitely feel you've been going through. We've got the mace as well, which can indicate that you've been beating yourself up, or you've been being really quite harsh on yourself or quite down on yourself recently, criticizing yourself an awful lot. We've got the Queen of Swords, assertiveness, have strong boundaries, be not defensive, but defend yourself, defend your space and your decisions, and that doesn't mean you need to justify them to anyone, but just sort of hold your hand up. I'm not getting involved in this discussion, or I'm not going to discuss that. That's my personal choice. And, you know, Kali's holding a big sword there and it's landed on her card. So she is certainly there helping you to gain these qualities and also cheerleading you in that sense and protecting your space in that sense. Then we have got the sort of like Grim Reaper hooded figure that's coming along on the boat, and this also represents transition. It's very similar to the Six of Swords card, which you obviously got as your first tarot card. It also represents signs and omens, so you might have been feeling pulled towards things or sensing that things were disappearing from your life a while before this transition actually started to occur physically or tangibly. You just started noticing that you were being pulled towards certain things, or you started noticing a lot of signs or symbols about change maybe, and that was just like a precursor to get you sort of used to the idea before it actually started happening. And then we've got the Red Riding Hood charm, and this is all about being on your path, not letting anyone pull you off your path. You know how the wolf tries to persuade her to step aside and spend some time with him, but she's determined to get to grandma. You know, it's not letting anyone stop you from doing what you know is right and going down the path that you know you need to tread. Not letting anyone bully or intimidate you. Just keeping on going with your life. And it's also very symbolic of rites of passage as well, and real shifts in our life where we evolve and grow and mature into different people. So I think that's a lovely note to end your reading on, because it resonates so much with every message that you've received so far. So I really hope you've enjoyed your reading with me today, Group 2. Please let me know in the comments if you did, how it resonated with you. I would love to hear from you. I would like to take a moment to thank Kali Ma and your spiritual team and my spiritual team for getting these messages to you today as well. And you might also like to leave a little message of thanks to Kali Ma or to your spiritual team down below as well. Please do like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. That really helps out my channel and helps us to get these messages to as many people as possible as well. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and take care of yourselves, Group 2. If you're interested in what I do on the channel and you'd like to get more involved with my work, then do check out my description box and the comment that I post below, because they're always full of links. So down there you can get to my Instagram page where you can follow me and you'll get daily oracle cards in your feed from me. You can find my wish lists down there. I have 2 wish lists for new tarot and oracle decks. If you'd like to send a gift to the channel, that would be very kind of you. I also have linked below my Patreon page. I'd love it if you would join me over there. You can support the channel from there, and you get access to exclusive content like extra picker cards and giveaways and healing sessions and all of the sorts of things that I do on an ad hoc basis for being a patron. You can book a private reading or a healing session with me over on my Etsy page, linked below. You can also get access to information about your guardian angel over there, and I have several other services and products as well in the shop. If you'd like to leave me a tip or donation, that's very kind. I have a PayPal link linked below which supports me in the work that I do and helps me to keep making these videos. And we do currently have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations. The link is down below. They do beautiful handmade crystal jewelry which is infused with intentions to help you achieve what it is that you are trying to manifest or trying to just bring into your daily life. And there is a 10% discount, so if you click the link below, that will validate the discount code, and then you should apply the discount code VIOLET at checkout for 10% off. They also offer free international shipping, so it's a brilliant deal, and I really recommend them. So thank you again for being here, Group 2. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Take care. Hey there, Group 3. Welcome to your reading if you chose number 24. Matangi, and the Tarot in Wonderland. This is going to be your reading. So I think we'll actually get the guidebook introduction to this card read first, and then we'll move on to your tarot and your oracle cards, and we'll also get at least one other card from the Kali oracle during that as well. But let's look at Matangi, because she's not actually Kali, she's a different goddess who is coming through for you with this card. You are drawn towards this card. So this card says, she is the tantric queen of outcasts, unveiling hidden inner power to thrive outside conventional society. She holds the secret teachings of the power of the voice, of the healing power of art and music. She is the divine feminine medicine for the lost, the alienated, those who have been cast aside. If you've been denied love and respect, she brings healing and empowerment. If you have suffered rejection, abandonment, or been labelled as unworthy in any way, she brings dignity and repair. She is the ignition of a creative, joyful, and vibrant life path. And it says that Matangi is the 9th of the wisdom goddesses, the Mahavidya. I'm really sorry for any Hindu or Sanskrit speakers who know how to pronounce that correctly, and I'm saying it horribly, I'm sure. But it says that she is a wild goddess, sparkling green in colour, as we can see from this card, with a green parrot as her symbol. She dwells outside the confines of polite society. Okay, so you have Matangi showing up as well as Kali in your reading, and I like how it mentions sort of being outside the confines of society, but also sort of being kind of on the edge, I guess, and you might have felt rejected or misunderstood or very different throughout life, and it feels like right now you're kind of choosing almost not to care about that in a way, even if those wounds have been brought back again to be seen. It's like, I don't want to keep being affected by this. So let's see what your tarot has to say, group 3. And I would love it if you could subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps out my channel, and it also means that you get notified whenever I release a new video, so you never miss out on that. So So we've got the Emperor as your first tarot card there. We also have the Wheel of Fortune. Really like that card in this deck. Then we've got the Page of Wands. And the Seven of Swords. Wow. Okay, so Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are showing up here. Aries twice because of the Page of Wands and also the Emperor, so there is strong fire energy coming through, and that might be relevant to you, it might not be. We may get some more zodiac signs as we go through the reading, but what I'm seeing from this is a couple of things. I did feel that people who were going to be drawn to this video today, with Kali being the goddess of endings and beginnings and death and rebirth and change, that you would either be going through some change or you would be wanting some change, like feeling stagnant and wanting something to change in your life. So with the Wheel of Fortune, I can see that change is certainly occurring or is about to occur. If you're feeling stagnant, rest assured, change is coming. And with the Emperor, I really feel like two things. Firstly, I feel like your relationship with the masculine in your life is changing, so the relationship with the divine masculine in life, and also with the inner masculine within yourself. This was a little bit of a message for group 1 as well, and so I apologize if you've already watched group 1, you're going to hear me rant again, but for me the inner masculine and the divine masculine is a huge project for me. It's something that I am currently working on. I'm making a homemade deck to do with working with the inner masculine, healing and strengthening and empowering that, because for me it is a huge issue with the spiritual community. This is like a bone of contention that I have with the spiritual community, is that the divine masculine is typically overlooked unless we're looking for the divine masculine outside of ourselves. We're searching for a man, basically, or we're searching for the divine masculine in our life, but not within our own selves. Okay, and I've come across so many people through the work that I do who are working a lot on their feminine, which is very important, their inner feminine, and healing that and strengthening that, but without that inner masculine, you're only half the way. You're only ever half empowered, or you're only ever going to achieve half of your ability. And it's so important to do this. And so this is a massive project for me, and something I'm probably going to be focusing on for the foreseeable, I think, like over the next few years, I would like to bring out more projects related to this. So you will see that fairly soon when I have that deck ready. And I'm sorry for the rant, but it's a big, big thing for me that I just feel massively needs to change. And so your relationship with the masculine is changing. You might be trying to embody more masculine traits within yourself. You might be healing the relationship that you've had with masculinity throughout your life, especially father figures or older brothers or grandfathers, uncles, authority figures who were male, etc. You, as I've said, are embodying that within yourself and healing that. But also I feel you are changing with regards to control and decision making. When I see the Emperor and the Wheel of Fortune, it's like you're taking control and you're instigating change, or your own will is being asserted now. Your own desire is being really put out there quite strongly, because you're ready for this change. The Page of Wands is telling me you're ready for excitement and interest. You want something new. You want to have like interesting experiences and adventures, or you want to just shake up the status quo. You're sick of every day being similar, or just the same old stuff that you're dealing with, and you want to change. And I feel like this has been triggered by something within you recently, or something from the past being brought up recently. So with the Seven of Swords, there's either been some sort of lying or cheating or betrayal, or there's been a feeling of you not being supported by others. And this could be a man or maybe multiple men or multiple sort of masculine energies that have played a part in this. You know, you could be currently working on healing from a past relationship with a man, or healing from issues with the father or an older brother or something, and that's sort of being brought back up, or a male friend, or a boss who bullied you who was male. It's these sort of things that have sort of triggered this desire for change, because I really feel like you're saying, no longer am I going to be a victim, or no longer am I going to allow other people to make choices about my life, like choices that, you know, are important for me. I'm now going to take those chances myself. So really interesting start to your reading. Okay, so then, yeah, oh my goodness, Ghost of the Past, number 42, the past returns for a time. Was literally feeling that you've been triggered by a past event, or you have recently been maybe working through issues from your past, and this has sort of brought it all to a head for you, like, no longer am I going to live that way or be affected by that in my life anymore. It's super, super important to me. So this is really nice to see that coming through in your reading so early on. So I've just gotten up and turned the light on now, group 3, because it's gotten a little bit dark. So that's why it's suddenly a little bit brighter. So let's see what else we can get for you from Kali Ma. Number 55, the Father Gate, bold step forward. So literally, like I said, it's your own assertiveness, or it's your own decision to make these changes and to go on this journey. I think it's very pertinent actually that this says father rather than further, like the one that's further ahead, because of how it obviously sounds like father figure. So there is an issue here with you dealing with those authority figures, or those relationships in your past, and you're not being held back by it anymore, which is lovely. Horseman, herald of change, absolutely. Number 30, change is coming and you're ready for it. You might be afraid of it, for sure, that's normal and natural, but it feels like you're almost the one who's instigating it, because I do feel as though for a time you've been thinking, I want change to come, I want things to be different, but you've been afraid to make those choices, and now you're saying, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not going to let myself waste my life, or I'm not going to let myself be held back by the decisions of other people that have impacted upon me, or that have affected me negatively. Really reclaiming your power, group 3. Okay, so number 37, look beyond the surface. Avoid becoming distracted by surface issues. Focus on the underlying motivation, cause, or beauty in a situation. Seek ways to bring depth to your world. So that fits with this message of analysing past experiences or analysing your current relationship with masculinity or with your inner masculine as well. It's not just, as I said, how we relate to the divine masculine outside of ourselves. It's also the state and condition of our inner masculine within ourselves currently. How wounded is that? How empowered or disempowered is that? How strong is that? How well balanced is that with our inner feminine? All of those things. Oh, sorry, George. So here we've got number 4, falling, the unknown, descent, momentum, change. That word change again. And falling, to me, it fits well with this look beyond the surface message of like going deeper, going down, right down into the psyche where things can be a bit frightening. We've also got number 24, use your time well, make every moment count. So like I just said about you not wanting to waste your life, not wanting to sit around waiting for change to come to you anymore, but being determined to go out and grab that for yourself, not being willing to be held back anymore by these past experiences or these relationships around you. You might feel, for example, oh, he's my brother, I can't cut him off, I can't stop speaking to him, but you know, you would probably feel so much better if you did. And I feel like it's about time you start putting yourself first. Group 3, that's what this reading really says to me, is that you're starting to put yourself first and foremost, just like the Emperor. Okay, we've got number 18, the full moon witch. Let's just check in the guidebook what that's all about. Certainly a masculine trait to develop is putting oneself first and not seeking approval or assurance outside of ourselves, but getting that from within ourselves. So the full moon witch rules the tides and brings fertility to fruition. Fertility and fruition to heartfelt plans and actions. But full moonlight is dangerous. Emotions are illuminated, but shadows are cast. While the moon is full, you will outshine those who are unsettling you by becoming temporarily unreliable or making plans go awry. Those whose lives you touch will see there is hope for tomorrow. As the moon wanes, problems diminish and you will find new stability. So I think this fits with the whole sort of tides and cycles message of like, it's time for change, use your time well, we're not staying in this one rigid space anymore, we're changing. But I like how it mentioned the shadows, because that's what this falling is all about, is going down deeper into this dark space, the psyche, where we're often a little bit afraid to poke around because we don't really know what we're going to find, or poking around in there might feel very confronting with whatever it is that we are faced with. So it's facing your fears and not being afraid to sit with those strong emotions and really feel them. Some of you might be going through therapy, and that might be quite a recent thing. So we have in the flow, everything is smooth sailing. That's a really lovely, lovely card to get. So positivity coming your way, things starting to move more smoothly once that Wheel of Fortune energy kicks in, once you start initiating that change and asserting yourself and working on either your experience of the divine masculine within your life and or healing your inner masculine. Things start moving more smoothly, you run into less problems, you don't have as many inner conflicts or inner sort of doubts and insecurities which hold you back. Okay, so here we've got glücklich sein, number 73, being happy. And we also have number 4, Bedürftigkeit, neediness. Okay, so this could be, you know, you feeling very needy towards others, you feeling like you need reassurance from others. So going back to what I was saying about the masculine trait of needing reassurance only from yourself, or not needing to seek others' approval, not looking as much for happiness in other people, but being able to find it quite contently once you've got both the masculine and the feminine quite nicely balanced within you. I really do get the vibe that some of you are just sort of turning away from people that you've tried relying on for a long time, like trying to make them be a better person, or hoping against hope that they're going to be better, they're going to change, they're going to come through for me. You know, I've done so much for them, they're going to finally turn around and support me. And it's like, do you know what? They're not. And I need to realize that, and I need to walk away now. That's how I feel this realization is coming to you. Or I was vulnerable at the time, but I didn't receive the love that I needed or the support that I needed, and I still feel a little bit trapped in that situation emotionally, even though it's 30 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago, you know, and it's reclaiming yourself from that past. Kali Ma is actively helping you to rebuild yourself now so that you can grow as a person and become more empowered and more whole and more complete, helping you put those jigsaw pieces back together. So here from this new deck that I got just the other day, this is my mother's birthday gift to me, the tarot birthday gift, and it is a Russian deck. It's called the Предсказательный оракул, знаки, судбы, which means the predictive oracle of the signs of fate. And my birthday was over a week ago now, but I only got it a couple of days ago because we ordered it online from Russia and it got delayed coming here, so that's why I've got it a little bit late. But the card that you've got is Sud, and Sud means judgment, basically, or trial. So this could be you fearing being judged by others. It could be you starting to be more decisive now, starting to make decisions that benefit you moving forward rather than weighing up how it would benefit or how it would affect other people. You need to start putting yourself first. Could be that you felt unfairly judged by others, or that people have been harsh to you for no reason. I also think with the sort of bars on display here, which I mean I've seen it in Russian courts like fairly often, so it might not be common in your country, but I think it's fairly common in Russia. So it's like wanting to break free from that box, basically wanting to jump out of that box and be free, be liberated from the judgment or the expectations of society and other people, and, you know, break out of that category that you've been placed in since childhood, or that you've been placed in through your life experiences. You want to be redefined, or even completely eschew any kind of labels. Like, you don't want to be pinned down by a firm definition. You're really evolving and growing as a person. So then here we've got new moon in Libra, know you are loved. So there's Libra coming through now. So Kali Ma and Matangi want you to know that you are very much loved and cherished and appreciated. And then we've got Aries coming in again, first quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. And, you know, I feel like even if you don't have any prominent Aries placements in your chart, I mean, you probably should have Eris in Aries, I think. And that's all about how you shake up the world and shake up your life. But even if you don't have any prominent Aries placements in your chart, Aries is sort of coming through as that number one sign right now, and putting the number one first and foremost, and pushing through your needs for self-actualization and your desires, and no longer allowing other people to pile their needs and their considerations and their opinions on top of you. So let's return to the Kali Oracle and get some more messages direct from this deck. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we've got. We have number 40, Mantra Shakti. Number 18, Lalita Tripura Sundari. Again, I really apologize to any Hindi or Sanskrit speakers if I'm mangling any pronunciation. I really do not mean to do that. And number 26, Shodashi. Okay, so we'll check the guidebook for the introductions to those cards. So, start with number 40, Mantra Shakti, because that one came out first. So, her voice creates and dissolves universes. Wow. Her vibration within our soul creates our sacred life path. You have the sacred power of voice. How shall you express it? To call for effective divine assistance in all ways? Do not allow negative thought or speech to undermine your inner spiritual connection. Claim your voice and your power to create. Listen for inner guidance and then set your course in motion. Though it may not yet be visible in your physical world, a new order is generating within the soul. In time, it shall manifest in transformed physical circumstances. Okay, so like I was saying, change is coming. I like how it connects to the voice actually, because the Matangi card was talking about your voice as your expression. So you may be feeling really called to express yourself through your words, your voice, your writing, your singing maybe. And you might be worried about how that comes across. So you might be worried about taking that initiative and asserting yourself in that way and asserting your boundaries or letting your truth be heard, even if it's just in the context of, you know, a meeting between you and your therapist. You might really struggle to open up about that. So that's definitely what's going on here, is this huge shift in terms of how you express yourself and your truth. So then Lalita Tripura Sundari, with luminous grace, she plays her way into our hearts, softening hardness and despair, awakening the remembrance of light, of love, of joy. No matter what you have experienced, your heart shall be cleansed and released from ugliness, sorrow, and pain. Negative karmic legacies will be cleared away. Our divine sister goddess invites you to recognize her golden restorative beauty shining within your heart. Cultivate that which is worthy of such beauty, for this is your essential nature. Gracefully release all else with dignity. And this is saying that not only does she manifest as light, playfulness, and beauty, but she is the third of the Mahavidya wisdom goddesses. So Matangi was the 9th and she's the 3rd. So really nice continuity of that. And then here with Shodashi, number 26, ruby red, with the divine juice of life, she nourishes the body, mind, and soul with vitalizing pleasure, life, and joyfulness. Goddess Shodashi restores self-esteem and an awareness of your innate value, especially after a time of painful rejection or disappointment. Through her blessings, the desires of the heart can find fulfillment in new ways. She brings divine energy for the manifestation of wishes. Her presence is an indication of inner power to restore yourself and attract what you need into your life. So restoring yourself, gaining balance again, and coming back into that space where you're not feeling judged or not feeling the need to be what other people want you to be. It's very interesting because it says here that Shodashi is the fertile and creative aspect of Lalita Tripura Sundari, so that's really nice. And the red-coloured skin and the vibrant feminine life force represents her power to actualize desires, and it's all about attraction and magnetism, which obviously goes back to the Wands energy that you have quite a lot of in your reading, and also Libra as well in many ways. So lovely, lovely messages there. And I like this card of joy and playfulness and beauty because it's recognizing your worth and it's reminding yourself of the need that you have to let go and to be playful and to have fun and to allow yourself that lightness in your life and not to be critical of yourself for that, and know that you're worthy of that. So I think that's really lovely. We'll move on now to your charms and then your dice to get your extra messages. Group 3, we'll see what your charms have to say. I love how you have so many goddesses around you as well. You've got, you know, obviously not just Kali Ma, but also all of these others who are coming through as well. I think that's really nice to have so much support around you. So let's see what we've got. We've got the growth charm, which is lovely and very fitting for where you are right now. We've got the pirate ship, adventure, travel, exploration, change, you know, moving and shifts and transitions. We do have the worry thread, worry or anxiety, but it's landing very close to the fearless charm. So that's really nice that you've got the worry or anxiety, but then you're like, no, I can do this. I'm fearless. I have this courage that pushes me forward. We have teamwork with the hockey sticks, and with it landing on in the flow with what I was talking about around that time, I really can't help but feel that this is about balancing and strengthening and healing both your inner masculine and feminine, and really devoting a lot of time to that. As I said, in the hopefully near future, I'll be able to bring more wisdom about that to my channel and the work that I do on Etsy as well, and Patreon, and hopefully that will help a lot of people. But do let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. So over here we've got the little unicorn. I really love this charm. It's very innocent, it's very childlike, and it's reminding you of your purity, group 3, because as I said, I feel as though you felt tainted, or you felt heavily impacted by other people's judgments, other people's behavior, words, criticisms, opinions, expectations, etc. And this is to remind you that whatever's gone on, no matter how traumatic or how heavy or how painful it was, you are not to blame. You are innocent, you are pure. This is regaining and understanding and accepting your purity, and recognizing that it never really left you. You just felt tainted, or you felt different as a result of what you've experienced, but now you can get it back, and you can fully revel in that lovely purity and innocence that you have. Aries, given that you've got a lot of Aries showing up in your reading, does have that innate childlike quality to it. It's the sort of part of you that never fully grows up. It's always got that childlike zeal or enthusiasm or hope and innocence to it. So here we've got the big love heart, which goes hand in hand with Kali Ma telling you know that you are loved. We've got the cute little dog who is really excited to see you. This always reminds me of someone literally being excited to see you, someone happy to see you. It's also a zodiac marker for people born in the Chinese year of the dog. If that means anything to you, it doesn't have to be you, it could be someone just significant in your life. And then finally we've got the infinity charm. So that's talking about your past lives, it's talking about continuity. This isn't the end for you. Your life didn't end at that point, that difficult experience, and it certainly isn't going to end now. This is infinity, this is your growth, this is you evolving constantly and shifting and changing. So we'll look at your dice too to get your final messages, group 3, just wrap up the reading. And we're rolling the third set of dice for you. For group 3, the third set of dice. Those are the mystery dice, these ones. There's that death symbol right there, and that stagnancy with the spider's web. And we're rolling 2 dice for you. Oh my goodness, so the spider's web's actually come out. So that is that feeling of being stuck or trapped, or being even held in the past in some way, or being held back, being restricted or limited. All of those feelings come up, especially if you feel blocked as well, just generally. You really want things to change and shift, and you're ready for that. And then we've got this dice, which is the house in the woods. So it's very isolated, and it goes back to the Matangi message about feeling shut out, feeling misunderstood, feeling rejected or isolated or lonely, or feeling like you're living on the edge or the confines of society, or the you know, the edge of what's acceptable or what's accepted within society. But it can also be about just sort of needing your space and needing that time for quiet thought and reflection, and having a space that's a sanctuary, whether it's your home, whether it's a room in your house, whether it's just a mental space that you go to, or somewhere that you like to go for a walk to, whether it's a particular cafe, for example, or library, or just somewhere that you like to go that's special to you, and where you can just de-stress and not think about the things that are bothering you, or where you can think about them without being confronted by them. So that's what that dice means, as well as just these sort of other connotations that I mentioned earlier. So that's what I'm seeing in your reading, group 3, and I really hope that you will feel empowered and validated and encouraged by these messages, by Kali Ma and the other goddesses that have come through for you today, to show you so much support and so much guidance and sort of hand-holding really through this major transition in your life. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of this video, because I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear if it resonated. And let me just take a moment to thank Kali Ma and the Mahavidyas and your spiritual team and my spiritual team for helping us to get these messages to you. You might just want to leave a little comment thanking Kali Ma or your spiritual team or something like that if you'd like to show some gratitude for the messages or to claim the messages that have come through today for you. Please do like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video, because that really helps out my channel and it helps us to get these messages to as many people as possible as well. And have a lovely rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, group 3, and if you are interested in the work that I do on the channel and you would like to get more involved, then check out my description box and the comments section below, where I post a comment because they're full of links. So from there you can head over to my Instagram to get daily oracle cards in your feed if you follow me. You can head over to my Etsy page to book a private reading or a healing session with me, or to get information about your guardian angel. I have 2 wish lists linked down below for new tarot and oracle decks if you're feeling generous enough to want to send a lovely gift to the channel. That would be extremely kind of you, so thank you to everyone that has done that or is considering doing so. I also have my PayPal link down below for tips and donations which support me in this work that I do and help me to keep making these videos. Down there we've also got the Patreon page. I would love to see you over on Patreon if you would consider subscribing over there and supporting the channel. You get access to exclusive content like extra picker cards and giveaways and healing sessions and other things that I do on an ad hoc basis. So I'd definitely love to see you on Patreon. And we do have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations as well. They are a company who offer beautiful handmade crystal jewelry. It's really gorgeous and it is infused with intentions to help you achieve your goals or manifestations, or to carry around the kind of vibe that you want to bring into your daily life. They offer free international shipping, so if you click on the link below, that will validate the discount code. If you go and search for it in the description box or in the comment that I post below, that will validate the discount code, and you should then apply the discount code VIOLET at checkout. That will get you your 10% off. And yeah, like I said, they have free worldwide shipping, so it's great. And I really recommend their products because they're beautiful, and I have quite a few of them myself. So thank you so much again for being here, group 3. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.